Welcome to your extra shot of sunrise. I am Carlos Diaz, along with Meredith Juliet. I don't think my earpiece is working. Meredith, can you talk to me real quick here?
IFB check. It's me.
I can't, you know what? Take a one shot of Meredith so I can fix my IFB real quick. And
oh my gosh, it's my
Meredith,
show.
You take the show from here. There we go.
I will do a little tap dance. Except for here's the problem. I don't have the teleprompter, so I can't tell you. Oh, now it's moving. And I'm going to talk to you about COVID changes expected next week. So Marion County is preparing to ease its COVID restrictions. That starts next week. That also includes lifting the mask mandate for those who are fully vaccinated. But businesses and venues can, of course, keep their own mandates in place. The goal is to lift all restrictions by Independence Day, by July 4th. Just in time for summer, pools will go to 100% capacity. Summer camps, they're going to be at 75%. And entertainment venues, they're also going to go to 75% capacity. Those changes are going to impact indoor sports venues. Lucas Oil and Bankers Life, they can open up to 50% capacity.
Yeah, and you better believe it'll be 100% capacity by the time the cold season starts.
I was going to ask you about that.
It's the same for gyms, dance clubs, and bars. The only thing up in the air right now is whether social distancing will go from 6 feet to 3 feet. So I know a lot of people are watching going, well, wait a minute, all this stuff, we've done all this stuff already. But we're talking about Marion County.
Right.
You know, so the donut counties, you know, the mask mandates kind of been lifted in those areas. But we're talking about Marion County with this, and that's a big step forward for places like downtown and things like that, correct?
Yeah, and it's interesting, too, because I would say, you know, in the state of Indiana, our restrictions are have been eased a lot quicker than different states, and yet the stadium, Lucas Oil Stadium, is one of two that isn't preparing yet at this point for full capacity. Do you think that's just because it's located in Marion County, or what do you think is the mindset behind it?
Yeah, everything involved with Marion County, you're going to have stricter mask mandates, you're going to have stricter, you know, stricter precautions.
Yeah.
So I just think they're going to take things slow. And just because, you know, I mean, that's the whole point about COVID, you know, especially pre-vaccination, is that groups of people tend to spread it more than people that are spread out. And where are people spread out? In suburbs, in farms, in fields. But downtown, you're not spread out. You're on top of each other, and that's where you get the spread. So.
Well, we are working on getting more and more people vaccinated, particularly kiddos, the youth vaccination clinics. Marion County's Health Department, they've been teaming up with schools for a series of these youth vaccine clinics. The first of 3 was held yesterday at North Central High School. In addition to the kids, the clinic also allowed family members older than 17, of course, to get a shot. The clinics, they're free. They're open to students from any school in Marion County. Health officials say student vaccinations will determine what the next school year looks like. And if you missed yesterday's youth vaccine clinic, there are going to be others that you can stop by. The next one is at Arsenal Tech. That's on the 12th. And the last clinic is on the 19th at Warren Central. Remember, this is mainly for kids 12 to 17, but they have to come with a parent. You still need to go along because you have to give consent for them to get that vaccine.
Yeah, and you know, that's another important point too. That's an ongoing discussion that people are having within their own families. Will they get their kids vaccinated? The CDC says if we're going to get to herd immunity, you know, you're going to have to get kids under the age of 18 vaccinated. That's a big, you know, it's a hot topic with a lot of different parents who are talking about it. But of course, kids have a say so as well. You know, they might be minors, but they have an opinion on whether they want to get vaccinated either way. So, a lot of people chiming in this morning as far as Joyce says good morning, Julie, Susan, Glenn, Alice says good morning, Art says good morning, Lonnie, a lot of good mornings out there.
Millie, good morning from Pittsburgh. Hi, Millie.
And so, you know, and my IFB keeps going in and out, so I'm having problems with hearing things. And so if you're saying things to me right now, I'm like. Yeah, exactly. That's what it sounds like. I can hear you like from a distance. That's what's crazy. It's the tube.
I'm down the tunnel.
Has got issues. Let's talk about the Colts preseason games. The team is going to get things started right here at home this year. They're going to kick off at Lucas Oil Stadium Sunday, August 15th at 1 p.m. against the Carolina Panthers. Their second and third preseason games will be on the road against the Vikings and Lions. Tickets are now available, and we've got the full schedule of games on our website at WTHR.com.
Woohoo!
There we go.
That's going to be awesome. I'm excited.
Yeah.
All right, we want to catch you up about Brad Stevens. So the former Butler coach, he's stepping off the sidelines in Boston, and that's from the Associated Press. They're reporting that. The AP says Celtics president Danny, how do you say his last name?
Ainge
is stepping down, and Coach Stevens is moving up into the front office. Boston's season ended Tuesday night with the Celtics falling in a 5-game first-round series against the Nets. Important to note, ESPN is reporting that the president has been wanting to retire for a couple years now, but officially made that decision a few months ago. That means when rumors were swirling that Stevens could be considering taking the IU head coach opening.
Be careful with this next part.
He already...
No, he may have already known.
Okay.
He may have known that he was going to get the Celtics. Listen, here's the thing. You know, Brad Stevens came out with an IU job, and he was like, I'm not going to IU. I'm unequivocally not going to IU. And I'm like, dude, your Celtics team is like a 500 team at best. You're probably going to get knocked out in the first round of the playoffs, which they were.
Right.
Like, why are you poo-pooing the IU job so hastily and so vehemently? And Danny Ainge said he's known for months that he was going to step down. So you know.
Yeah.
I mean, the Boston Celtics are a storied organization. They're not going to go into something without having a plan.
Sure.
So here's what I think. I think that they spoke with Brad Stevens. It would make sense. I mean, I'm sure they didn't speak to him like the day after the playoffs and said, "Hey, you want to be the new guy running the show?"
Sure.
And yeah, sure. I'm sure those talks were in effect, and he probably knew that when the IU head coaching job came open. You know, and that's probably why he didn't take the job.
Yep,
So,
I agree.
Yeah. And other IU ties, Coach Mike Krzyzewski, who once played under Bobby Knight at West Point, is now stepping down, calling it a career at Duke. The 74-year-old men's basketball coach says he will retire at the end of next season. Coach K led the Blue Devils to 5 national championships. He coached there for 41 seasons at Duke. Unbelievable.
Wow.
Yeah, people talk about how generous and how nice he was. He, of course, learned a lot about coaching during his time at West Point, where he played under Coach Bobby Knight before Knight left and went to IU. But, I mean, you talk about two guys with completely different styles.
Yeah.
You know, Mike Krzyzewski and Bobby Knight, very different styles, but both equally successful when it comes to W's.
41 years. That's incredible.
It's 41 years. I mean, you realize it's 2 generations. He could have had a kid and then had that kid's kid as far as coaching that. He could have had an 18-year-old, 19-year-old kid coaching them, and then that kid could have had a kid, and then that kid could have played at Duke as well.
Yep.
So, yeah.
All right, continue with our sports Facebook cast this morning. Indy 500 winner Elio Castroneves, he is creating more headlines, but finally getting some rest after a whirlwind of celebrations. The Indy 500 winner Castroneves is finally getting to relax. Take a look at what he posted on Instagram. Such a subtle brag. That's a picture of him sleeping with his 4 champion rings with the caption, "Shh, new family members sleeping." I love that.
That is very cool.
Yeah.
And continuing to sports.
A lot of them today.
All of us, but this is kind of cool, though, because, Wiffle Ball is something that a lot of us played when we were kids. I know I did. And most of us know that, that from Field of Dreams, if you build it, they will come.
Yep.
And it's holding true for a team right here in Indianapolis because they built a field in their own backyard. It's a Field of Dreams. It's a sandlot. John Duran has the story.
We were always like, could you imagine if this blew up? And now we're here.
If you build it, the Wiffle Ball players will come from all over the place.
This is like up here for me in terms of things that I take a lot of pride in.
Brendan Dudas transformed the backyard of his childhood home into Indy's Field of Dreams, the Dirt Yard.
You feel silly doing it, but then again, it's a passion of mine.
And unless you're looking for it, you'll likely never find it.
I would attribute 50% of this place is just its lure to the fact that it's in a backyard and it's what Wiffle Ball was always meant to be.
Around this south side of Indianapolis home, onto a gravel driveway.
You're sitting there on a Sunday afternoon down the back porch, and next thing you know, you got 100 people in your backyard.
Brendan may have moved out of his parents' house, but the Wiffle Ball hasn't.
We just had people come down from Maine, Chicago, Wisconsin to play Wiffle Ball. I mean, you never know that somebody, Wiffle Ball was that deep or people were that serious about it.
Whenever I would tell people, hey, come play Wiffle Ball with us, they'd be like, Wiffle Ball? What are you, 12 years old?
Dudas started building the field in middle school, inviting his friends over to play after baseball tournaments.
Every single year, just attempting to do something a little extra, going over the top.
And when life moved on and everybody grew up, this weekend's kids game became an even bigger draw.
It's really just mainly boils down to the fact that this is kind of keeping us all together. And as things get crazy, you grow up, you get jobs and kids and move away. This is something that is kind of the core of all of our relationships out here.
Aiden fires in a strike. He struggled with command last inning.
Too many times I see dads like, oh, I wish I'd see my son more often. Well, if you have something like this in your backyard, you're going to see him multiple times a week.
There's no slowing down. The dirt yard continues to build.
Full count.
As its popularity grows.
I call it ironically serious. Just trying to think, if the MLB does it, Circle City Wiffle wants to do it.
And that's so awesome. I mean, it's great. I mean, if you played wiffle ball as a kid, you look at that and go, that is a field of dreams.
Yep.
And I love that they have broadcasts, by the way, just a bit outside. But it's a really great thing that they do, and I'm happy that there's some money going to charity as well.
I agree. All right, well, this has been a fun Facebook Sportscast.
I know.
From your sports team,
It's
Carlos
all,
and
it's
Meredith.
like, we needed Dave Calabro here.
I
you
know. What's going on? All right, well, thank you guys so much for tuning into Extra Shot today. We'll be here tomorrow morning, 7:15. Bye, guys.